To begin the back squat, face the barbell and grab it with your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width. The bar should be resting just above your upper traps or just above your shoulders. You don't want the bar resting on your spine at all or on your neck. To unrack the bar, get your hips underneath the barbell and then push your hips forward to unrack it. From here, get your hands tight enough to your shoulders that you can really control the barbell. Start by breathing into your belly, brace the core, break at the hips and knees at the same time, then sit your hips back and squat straight down. Notice here how in the first quarter of the squat, you're setting the angle in your back that you're going to maintain for the rest of the movement. Your knees should stay stacked over your ankles and pointing out in the direction that your toes are facing. Don't excessively turn out your toes, as that can often lead to issues in the ankles and the knees collapsing. Squat down to depth, which is considered the crease of your hips dropping below the top of your knee. A lot of times with beginners, I see people initiate the squat by arching their lower back and sticking their booty back. This is called anterior pelvic tilt, and this is very common for people who have weaker glutes or hamstrings, so they naturally want to shift their weight into their quads where they feel stronger. To illustrate this, we can think about turning the core into a box, and the box is a very solid and strong position. Now, if the lower back arches, you're going to be breaking this solid box. In order to create this braced core, this box position, think about squeezing your glutes and flexing your abs, almost as if someone was going to punch you in the stomach, how you would brace against that blow. And then the tricky part about this is that you want to maintain that nice solid block as you descend into your squat. So again, no movements happening in the spine. You're just opening up your hips and hinging at the hips instead of sticking the butt back and arching the spine. In the squat, you want to make sure that the bar travels in a straight line stacked over the middle of your foot at all times. This is going to ensure that you can make the most out of your quads as well as your posterior chain. If you let the bar travel too far forward, what's going to happen is that that weight will shift into the quads and you're going to lose your ability to engage those glutes and hamstrings. If you're struggling to get in a good position in your squat, you can think about the balance that's happening in your feet. Feet are often ignored in the squat, but it's essential that you can get it right from the ground up. So think about creating a tripod position on your feet. And this is going to be 3 points of contact in the foot, really keeping even pressure through these 3 points of contact. You can think about corkscrewing your feet into the ground through these 3 points, creating this spiral tension up your legs and into your glutes. This is going to prevent your knees and ankles from collapsing in the squat, and it's just going to give you a really stable foundation. If you're a beginner, try squatting first to a box high enough that you can maintain a neutral spine and really focus on bracing the core, getting your hips open, and maintaining control of the bar. Then gradually, as you get more familiar and more confident with the squat, you can lower that box until it is at the appropriate depth for you. Work on controlling your movement all the way down to the box. Then once you get to that point at full depth, you can take the box away, practice with no box, and then start to load the barbell. The box squat is a variation of the back squat that is a little bit like a pause squat in that it's going to stop your momentum in the bottom of the squat and force you to contract hard out of the bottom. Sit your full weight on the box, but don't go slack while you're sitting there. Stay nice and engaged in your core, and that barbell should still be stacked over the middle of your foot, almost as if we took the box away, you would still be floating there in midair. You don't want to be swinging your body back once you're sitting on the box and then swinging forward to use that momentum to come back up. focused on staying really nice and tight and controlled through the whole movement. Pause squats are a variation of the squat that trains you to stay really tight and engaged in the most vulnerable position of the squat, which is right at the bottom. Control your movement down into full depth, which is the crease of your hip dropping just below the top of your knee. We call that breaking parallel, and this is where you want to hold your pause. Don't overshoot this depth and go completely slack, hanging out at the bottom of the squat. If you're following a program like our Become a Powerlifter program at Primal Pillars, then your program should specify how long this pause should be. If it says 2 seconds, have someone count for you who's going to be really honest about that, or be looking at a clock. No matter what kind of athlete you are, or if you want to become a powerlifter, learning how to integrate squats into your training is so essential to strength. The squat is a very athletic movement with a ton of variation, and again, no matter what your sport is, it's going to help you get stronger. Thanks so much for watching this video about squats. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments, and if you're interested in any of our coaching programs, make sure to visit our website, primalpillarsstrength.com.